Nazis in Northwestern America. My preferred thing to hunt, or a genuine problem that dates back over 150 years? The answer will not surprise you. Find out tonight, America, on America the Podcast. Play me that song that makes my booty shake, Timmy.
You mean the theme song?
Yes.
Well, that's a pretty chill song, man.
Well, then we need to speed it up or something, because I want my booty to shake, damn it. It's good to be back. Hello, America. It's America, the podcast. Yes. So I got about 100 Nazi scalps, but not quite 100. Brad Pitt still has that on me. But, yeah. It was about 95 Nazi scalps.
I thought you said you weren't going to kill anybody.
Oh, I didn't kill anybody. I just shot them in the knees like Terminator. Well, Terminator 2 anyways. The first Terminator, he did kill people. But the point is, I did not. I just shot them in the knees, and then I didn't even take their scalps. I took their hats. And irregardless, I only shot the ones that came at me. It was all self-defense. It's all been cleared up with the police. Don't worry about it. Insurance. You bought the insurance, right?
Yes, I bought the insurance, but now my premiums are gonna go up because you shot people.
Well, I'm a billionaire, so I'll pay for it, so don't worry. Right now, we need to talk about the Northwest Nazi problem. Is the show going? We rolling?
Yes, we're rolling. We're always rolling.
Well, why didn't you tell me? Hello, America! It's me, the Bastard, and welcome to episode 9 of America, the Podcast, with me, the Bastard. I would first and foremost like to thank all of you who have been listening thus far the past 9 episodes, and to pre-thank everybody who will be listening to the season finale in 2 weeks, and that better be all of you. And then, of course, the Christmas episode, which will be when?
Well, Christmas, man. Christmas Eve, basically. It'll go up on the internet around probably 9 o'clock.
But I will be sleeping. I need to be asleep before Santa shows up. I'm catching him this year. And we'll be holding him as ransom during this year's war on Christmas.
I mean, why would you do that? What side are you on in this war on Christmas you guys keep talking about?
Well, I guess you'll just have to find out on Christmas now, won't you? On America, the Podcast, with me, the Bastard.
Right, okay. Well, we're talking about Nazis in the Northwest, apparently, this episode?
Yes, they are running amok up in the Northwest. They're like vermin, like roaches, like Nazis, honestly, like gross Nazis. And yes, I know there are technically different groups, and they like to identify as the alt-right, or white supremacist, or the Ku Klux Klan, but in my book, if you want to exterminate everybody but white people, you are a Nazi. But I always thought we didn't tolerate Nazis in this country, and I'm not sure what changed, other than the fact that nothing changed and places like Oregon were founded to not allow black people to move there.
Wait, really? Really, man? I love Portland, though. I mean, I thought it was just so, accepting of everybody.
No, it turns out Portland is not just a place where the weed flows like milk and honey and where Fred Armisen makes quirky sketches for the Independent Film Channel. It is also a land where white supremacy has been deeply rooted since the original settlers moved there. And it perpetuates to this day, despite appearances. Even as recently as May 26, 2017, 3 men tried to stop a neo-Nazi who was harassing a Muslim woman on a train in Portland, and the neo-Nazi fatally stabbed 2 of the men. One was treated at the hospital and survived. And that was just one attack among many. Since Donald Trump's election, hate crimes have been on the rise. Even within 10 days of his election, the Southern Poverty Law Center reported over 900 hate crimes.
Why did you work for him, man? Why did you stay there that long? I know you're done and you're out and you're part of the resistance, but what is your explanation?
Well, for starters, I lost my phone when my island sank, which you can hear that story by going to bastardvideos.americathepodcast.com. And 2, when I got back, I only had a flip phone. I hadn't gotten a smartphone yet because those hadn't been invented by the time I left. And I didn't have a laptop, so I didn't really use the internet. And besides, Donald Trump told me that everything everybody was saying was fake news. And then I used Google for about 5 minutes and found out I was very wrong. So, as far as continuity is concerned, that is the reason.
Right. Okay. Well, keep going, I guess.
Right. Well, it turns out electing Barack Obama president all those years ago did not solve racism as so many Democrats like to think. It rears its ugly head at us every day. and was more or less built into the founding of the country. Now I could sit here and list off every indiscretion in our history from slavery to Jim Crow to George Wallace, but I'm not going to do that. We've heard those same old stories time and again, and I will not glorify any of those people by continuously naming their names. Instead, today you get real talk, and specifically the white people. It is time for you to take a stand, and not leaving all of this up to people of color and women. What do I mean by that, you ask? You have many rights, and one of them is to vote. Yet for some reason, the lot of you don't like to do so. Even then, when the lot of you do vote, it seems that the popular vote doesn't actually win. But, Electoral College. Am I right? Anybody? Up top? No? Yeah, me neither. If you are one of those jaded millennials who thinks their vote doesn't count, well, get your head out of your ass and take a civics class, because it does. In the 2016 election, many politicians, including Hillary Clinton, only lost by a few votes. On top of that, there are many people who live in districts with voter ID laws, aka voter suppression. There were many instances where over 100,000 people could not even cast their vote during the election. And all of these districts were where Republicans were trying to win, and a large percentage of the population was people of color. Things like voter suppression have helped this become rampant. Voter ID laws are put into place in many different counties where people are trying to get Republican votes. It has become so bad that even some judges have struck down these laws for being blatantly racist. The only quote-unquote logical reason for voter suppression is because one side is scared of losing. And it pains me to say this as a Republican, but the last time I checked, the Democrats weren't the ones trying to enforce voter ID laws. And they also weren't the ones sympathizing and making excuses for the alt-right, aka the Nazis. Now I could say hashtag not all Republicans, but that would be doing a disservice, because we as Republicans have been this way for a long time. Whenever a highly publicized incident of racism occurs, the Republican establishment routinely rushes to the side of the racists. And I know some of you might actually call that fake news, but it's actually well documented. So what can you, as a white Christian Republican, God-fearing American, do to curb this? Well, maybe don't vote for people that were trying to enforce voter ID laws. And if you see anybody being racist, whether it be a family member or anybody on the street, stop it. Call it out and cut it off at the source. Also, maybe stop saying all lives matter. I mean, I think we can all agree on that. I mean, when you say all lives matter, all people do is go, oh, that person is an asshole. They looked like one, but now this just confirms it, so. I mean, when it really all boils down to it, if you see something, do something, and go vote. Go vote for people that don't try to oppress other people. And we are going to be discussing this further in 2 weeks on our final episode of the season on police brutality. But now we will be getting to our interview, which is with who, Timothy?
Stella Arzola. She's a photographer from Austin, Texas, currently residing in San Antonio, but also lived in Portland and went to school there for a couple of years. And, of course, has some first-hand insight into the Nazi problem up in the Northwest.
Well, you enjoy that, while I actually go hunt a few more Nazis on my way out to North Korea.
Wait, you're going to go hunt more Nazis and then go to... Why are you going to North Korea? That's a lot of random things to do.
Well, I have actually been tasked with kidnapping Michael Jordan and delivering him to Kim Jong-un as some sort of a peace offering.
The fuck?
Yeah, Dennis Rodman won't cut it this time.
Who the hell tasked you with kidnapping Michael Jordan?
Well, it's actually in my contract, unfortunately, that I owe the Trump administration one final favor upon exit, and this is it. So, anything to basically curb nuclear war. I mean, I'm for that, aren't you?
I mean, I guess, but you're still working for the man again.
Well, unlike my Republican colleagues, I am willing to put aside my personal politics in the name of the country. So, you have fun with the interview, and I'm going to go try and stop a nuclear war that the, Republican establishment is more or less indirectly responsible for by allowing Trump to be their candidate for president. So, toodaloo! War! What is it good for? To generate profits! Profits!
Oh my god.
Profits!
Alright, we'll be right back, everybody.
It's America, the podcast!
This has been a production of Shui Media, all rights reserved. For more information, please visit shwaymedia.com.